What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating this more editorial-esque type of look using KRISTIN Leanne's collaboration with Urban Decay. This is incredible. This is the first time Urban Decay is collaborating with a beauty blogger, influencer, beauty YouTuber, whatever you want to call us these days. This is the first time that they're collaborating with one of us, so this is very exciting. And of course, KRISTIN Leanne is like the queen of color, so she put out the most fun, colorful palette. This one and then the other one is a little more neutral and wearable. I thought I would go with this guy and really have fun with it because it's been a while since I've done a really colorful, fun, editorial type of look because, I don't know, it's been a while. I get stuck doing the everyday wearable looks because those are the ones that you guys tend to respond the best to, but bringing back the color today. So if you're interested and want to see how I create this look, just keep on watching. First, I have to confess, I got caught up doing the ultimate no-no to my face. I picked at the blackheads on my nose, so now my nose is dry and flaky. So for that reason, I'm going to be using MAC's Face and Body Foundation. I mentioned this in my favorites video. It works really well on dry, patchy, textured skin. However, it is a very sheer finish, and for that reason, I'm going to go in with a little more coverage on the areas that need it with my Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage in the shade SC3. And then for my under eyes, I'm going to use a little bit of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Honey just on the inner corners. And everywhere else on the center of the face, I'm going to use Custard. And see how this added a little more coverage, but just down the center of the face, you can still see my freckles. Everything else is pretty sheer and clean. So now I'm going to go ahead and set everything with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And then also for the powder on the nose, I'm going to apply it first everywhere else, and then whatever's left over, lightly put it on the nose. You don't want to pack it on again because there are dry flakes there, and that'll just intensify the look of the flakes. I added my shadow shield of powder to catch any fallout, so going straight into the eyes, I'm going to be using Fig Magnetic Matte Eye Pencil from NUDESTIX as my base. Applying it really close to the lash line first, and then blending it up towards the crease. Alright, and then going into the Urban Decay KRISTIN Leanne palette. The main color I'm going to be using is Tajin. If you don't know what Tajin is, or if you haven't had it on your fruit, or on the rim of your margarita, you're missing out on life. You had to try it out. So I'm going to start by applying it out here and into the crease. And then using my fingertip, I'm going to apply Corona onto the lid. And once you have that color on there, just go back in with the blending brush and buff it out. And I'm actually going to go in with one more layer, but wet. So I'm going to pick it up on a brush, wet it with Fix Plus, and then reapply it on top to further intensify the color. And now I'm just going to wipe away this powder underneath my eyes and apply the NUDESTIX Fig Magnetic Eye Pencil to the lower lash line and just apply Tajin to the lower lash line, and that's it. And with a smaller brush, I'm going to add a little bit of Corona to the inner part of the lower lash line. And that is it for the eyes. I'm going to save the gloss for later because it's obviously going to crease. I just want to prolong it as long as possible. So now I'm going to fill in my brows with the DIOR Brow Styler in Universal Brown. I'm going to be a little more light-handed with the brow pencil today because I'm also going to be using one of the new Hourglass Fiber Brow Gels, and it adds a little more color, so I'm going to be light-handed with the pencil. I'm going to wait to toss in that brow gel until I'm almost done with the rest of my makeup, and I figured since I'm using the KRISTIN Leanne eyeshadow palette, I might as well use other pieces from her collection. So I'm going to be using the Beauty Beam Highlight Palette which has 3 different shades in here, or you can swirl them all together like I have clearly done. But I want to highlight first because I want the skin to look really glossy and almost wet. So I want it to be a little more all over the place versus concentrated in certain areas. So I'm going to be using my Sigma Spotlight Duster F37 brush. And I think to start, I'm going to go in with the shade in the middle. And then again at the end, I'll go in with the darker shades on the areas that I bronzed. Even adding a little to the brow bone as I sweep it across the forehead. I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion in the shade 20M. I feel like this bronzer isn't really matte. It's also not really shimmery. It's kind of like in the middle, like a satin finish. And I'm going to use my Buildable Cheek Brush by Smashbox to apply it to the areas I always apply it to: hollows of the cheek, forehead, jawline, down the neck. And when I apply bronzer, I kind of pat it in and then brush it upwards. I never bring it down because I'm also trying to contour at the same time. So you don't want to drag the face down, so just pat and blend up. And then with that same brush, I'm going to pick up the darker shade over here and just sweep it over the areas that I already bronzed. Mainly on the forehead and apples of the cheeks. Remember, I'm going for more of like an editorial look, very glossy, very wet looking. I personally would still wear this out if I wore all black. I feel like that's why makeup artists like all black, because when you wear all black, you can do whatever you want with your makeup. That used to be my theory behind MAC and why we had to wear all black and look edgy, is because it made your makeup look cool. But I would totally wear this. I wore this to her launch party. I just love it. I love it. I love how dramatic it is. I love that it's different. Anyway, for blush, I've been loving these new JOUER blushes. This one is Adore Blush Duo. I love them because each one comes with a more muted neutral shade. So for this one, look at that. Perfect. These are the kind of blush colors that I love. So I think because the eyes are so orange, I might toss in a little bit of this, but I'm gonna start with this one, and if it needs it, I'll toss in a little bit of this on the apples of the cheeks. So I'm going in with just a pinch of the more peachy shade. And that is it. Now I'm going to mist myself with Fix Plus and then go in with brow gel, mascara, and a lip. First, I'm going to toss in this Hourglass brow gel that I mentioned. I'm using the shade Dark Brunette. And it has the brushes, one side's longer, one side's shorter. I like the longer side since my brows are pretty thick. And I just lightly glide it on top of the brow hairs. And as some of you may know, I've been really over false lashes lately. I don't know, they've always irritated my eyes, but now I feel like they irritate them even more, and I feel like I look worse than I did before the lashes. So I'd rather just add a lot of mascara and feel comfortable versus my eyes being bloodshot and irritated. I think it might be duo glue, but honestly, I've tried different glues and it's always the same. So we're just going to be using mascara. I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara. Another great drugstore mascara that gives a really similar effect is the new Total Temptation Mascara by Maybelline. I really love that stuff. But you guys know I love my Marc Jacobs. So I'm going to load up on this mascara and we're almost done. And I've covered this before, but I still get asked the question a lot, which is how do I remove mascara from eyeshadow? You just want to let it dry. Don't try removing it when it's still wet. And then you're just going to grab a clean eyeshadow blending brush and buff it away. For waterproof mascaras, it's a little harder. For that, I tend to use something like a spoolie brush like this to kind of like scrape it off and then reapply eyeshadow. But there's no need to go in with makeup remover and try and get rid of it that way, when a clean brush will get rid of it for you. And I also want a tight line because since I'm not wearing false lashes, it's just going to make the base of the lashes look darker. So I'm going to be using a black liner. This is via VANETTO by NARS. Doesn't need to be this fancy. It's just like, I don't know what happened to all my black eyeliners. I can't even find the Urban Decay one. I'm gonna use this one on the lower lash line, or lower waterline, Scorch. But I was gonna use an Urban Decay pencil to stick with the theme, but I can't find my black one. So we're gonna go ahead and just tight line with this one. And you wanna let that dry down a bit before going in with a different color on the lower waterline. So I'm just gonna give this a few seconds and then add Scorch. Ooh, and I almost forgot an inner corner highlight. I'm also going to be using this one that is on my face on the inner corner. And then for the lip, I decided to go with a nude to really make the eyes pop. So I'm going to be using Bun Bun. Oh, cute. I always hear Kristen calling her bunnies Bun Bun. Or is that her bunny's name? No, it's Brixton. So cute. So this shade is Bun Bun. It's a comfort matte, and it's a little deeper than a nude, but I think it's going to go really well with this eyeshadow look. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and then we can go in with the gloss on the lids. And for the gloss, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, I'm going to be using Shine Shot by Maybelline, and I'm going to pick it up on a small little concealer or lip brush. I'm going to use this LH Cosmetics 301 brush. And whenever I wear gloss on the lid and actually want to wear it out, knowing that it's going to crease and get messy, I just apply it really close to the lash line, which is why I didn't do an eyeliner. I was going to do eyeliner, but that was going to be even more messy. So I just pick up the gloss and I lay it really close to the lash line. On the very center, make sure you're not getting it on your lashes. Just right there. It's gonna spread, it's gonna crease, but I like that grungy look when I'm going for it. It's when you don't plan on it going grungy and looking messy that I have a problem with, but when the intention is there, I think it looks really good. Alright, and that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this really fun, colorful, semi-editorial look. I love doing these types of makeup tutorials, but I know that they don't get a lot of views and they're not very practical for every day, so that's why I don't do them as often. But give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more of these. Comment down below, let me know if this is something that interests you guys and something that you want to watch, and I will do more of them for you guys. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.